Final gathering improved the GI by smoothing out the photons, but it's still a bit grainy. The final step in creating a photorealistic rendering is to work with the settings on the Renderer tab. I'm going to set Final Gather to the Draft preset so that we have a very rapid render. I'll clone the rendered frame window so we can make a comparison. And then I'll go to the Renderer tab right here. This is where you control the sampling quality, which is really the last stage where it filters all of the information into a final image. Right now we are using very low quality. The minimum samples per pixel is 1/16 and the maximum is 1. Go down here and choose Mental Ray Daylighting High. But this time, don't just accept all the categories. We've already set up some custom settings on this tab, and I don't want to lose those. I only want to affect the settings on the Renderer tab. So select Mental Ray Renderer and load those settings. Now the samples per pixel have been changed from a minimum of 1 to a maximum of 16, so it's a huge increase in sampling quality. The numbers over here and over here have all changed as well. So I really recommend using the presets unless you really want to become a computer scientist and learn what all of these detailed controls do. Let's do a rendering and see how it looks. So it's emitting the photons for GI. It's computing the final gather points right now. So we went from a photon map to a kind of pointillist look. And now it's going to do the rendering where it's actually doing the sampling and filtering. Because we improved the sampling quality, we're going to lose all of this noise and aliasing that we see down here. Up here it's much smoother and a much higher quality. But as you can see, it takes more time. So just to summarize while we're waiting for this, I recommend that you begin by turning on GI only, then adjust exposure, then turn on Final Gather. Finally, increase sampling quality to get a more photorealistic result. By working in this way, you can move slowly towards photorealism, and you don't have to invest a lot of time at any one stage. When you get quality results, then you can go back and increase the number of photons, increase the preset for Final Gather, and increase the sampling quality. You'll get a much higher quality rendering in the end, but you'll have to invest a lot of time to get that. By following this approach, you can sort of bracket your results, and you won't be wasting time because you will be continuously building up to a very high quality photorealistic rendering. So we've improved the quality dramatically from here to here. Now I've spent more time and rendered an even higher quality image at higher resolution for you to look at. And I'll just go down here and view the image file. The same scene, it looks much better. Maybe I can compare these. This is what we just rendered, and this is what took an hour and a half to render. Now, the improvements are very subtle. Notice that there's some subtle shading on this wall. We see some shadows kind of in the corners. And we just don't see that at all over here on this wall. Admittedly, this is a higher, more pixels involved, so a higher resolution, and it took longer to render. Now let's go ahead and see what I did to achieve this quality. I just made two changes. I went to the Indirect Illumination tab, and I started by boosting the quality of GI by increasing the maximum number of photons per sample to 2,000. Then I went to Final Gather, and I increased the preset from draft to high. I also increased the render size to 640 by 480. Then I had to wait an hour and a half to create this rendering. So as you can see, you need to build up to a photorealistic result in stages. You don't want to try to get there right from the beginning because you'll be wasting your time. You need to work with GI, then Final Gather, and then improve sampling quality.